Okay, thank you so much for joining me this evening or this morning, depending on where you are. As you can see, it's very wintry here. It's very dark outside. It's very cold and it's feeling very festive. So I hope it is where you are. We are doing the second of our itineraries presentations today. And this is actually also our last webinar for the year. So we've had an excellent year of webinars. And looking forward to beginning again on the 10th of January. And we will be working our way through all the clients again, trying kind of for every week, but sometimes it's every other week, depends. But you will hopefully be receiving our new webinar schedule in our newsletter next week. So we are heading to Southern Africa, and we're going to be showcasing a few different itinerary options, but mainly looking at the wine, bush and beach circuit with a few different options for the bush leg in the middle, and that's sort of working through our clients and how they work well together. This is going to be recorded. It will be put on our YouTube, and then we will be sending out that recording in a follow-up in the next couple of days. We'll also send information on all of our clients presented on today and links to their agent kits. All of our clients are also listed on the Africa Hub. So if you ever have any questions, you can obviously are more than welcome to come through to us, but also all of their kind of agent kits, webinar recordings, image links and things like that are all on their accommodation hub listings on the Africa Hub. So definitely register there. It's completely free. The whole site is free. So you just have to create a login and you can find everything you need. So we'll get going. Please ask any questions in the Q&A throughout the presentation and we'll get to them at the end. So we are looking at a kind of wine, bush and beach itinerary today, starting down in the Cape Winelands at Boschendal. We're then heading up on this part to Thorny Bush. We'll be looking at the Thorny Bush properties. So that's Game Lodge, Saseka, and then they've also got Simbambili down in the Sabi Sand, and then on to Mozambique for the beach leg. Now, in between, I will go through a few other bush options. So we'll look at Madikwe and also at a great destination in Zimbabwe as well. So starting at Boschendal. Boschendal is located in the kind of heart of the Cape Winelands. So they are sort of equidistant between Stellenbosch, Franschhoek and Paarl. So it's a great jumping off point to explore the rest of the area. It's the second oldest and second largest wine estate in South Africa. It's an 1,800 hectare farm, and you've got accommodation across the farm for lots of different demographics. You've got everything from kind of really beautiful couples accommodation to brilliant kind of villas and large cottages for families as well. There's plenty to do on the property. You know, needless to say, there's a lot to do in the surrounding area as well. But even just on the property, there's so much to get up to, including kind of mountain biking, horse riding. You've got farm tours. Of course, you've got the wine side of things, and there's obviously loads to do for kids as well. So looking at a map of the farm, so down the bottom here, you can see, you kind of see the road runs through the middle of the farm, and down the bottom is the kind of what we call the main side of the farm. So down on the right-hand side here is the sort of main Bath area. So you've got the manor house, you've got our two restaurants, deli, and the Bath restaurant. We've got a homewares shop, and we've also got a farm shop as well. And then we do have two accommodation options on this side of the farm. So we've got the Bath Garden Suites and Clarence Cottage here. And then over on the opposite side of the farm, so you kind of cross the road and go through these gates, and this whole area on this other side of the farm is only accessed by guests who are staying here, and potentially guests who are going off mountain biking or hiking up in the mountains, but you still have to have a permit for that. So it's very little sort of human traffic on this side of the farm. And you've got the orchard cottages here, the retreat cottages, cottage 1685, the mountain villa, and then we also have a new cottage cowshed, which is actually cut off in this presentation, but it's just up in between the orchards and the retreat. So looking at the activities offering, as I said, you've got, you know, brilliant ways to kind of experience the farm, including horse riding. You've got mountain biking, incredible mountain biking trails. We also do our Bath picnics, which are very famous at Boschendal. And through the summer, we have the Friday night market. So every Friday, that main farmyard area turns into a Friday night market, live music, there's drinks, there's different stalls with different food, and it's a really cool vibe down there. We also have our the farm shop. So the farm shop and kind of food in general is a really big part of Boschendal. So farm to fork kind of dining, most of the food in the farm shop and also in the restaurants comes from on the farm. And guests can come down here and they can buy a load of produce here and they can take it back to their cottage. And all the cottage have the ability to be self-catering and the ability to for guests to have a braai or make their dinner themselves. And so they can come down here and get loads of fresh produce and of course lots of delicious wine as well. So looking at the accommodation options, starting with the retreat cottages, these are 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom cottages set on the opposite side of the farm. There's 18 of these. They also have a little restaurant area here, so guests staying at the retreat can have their breakfast up at the retreat restaurant. There's also a shared pool here, there's a boma area, and there's also conference facilities as well, so it works well for corporate groups. Also works really nicely for kind of big groups coming down, like staying maybe for weddings and things like that. It works really well there. We then have got the orchard cottages. So these are anywhere from 1-bedroom up to 4-bedroom. They work amazingly for families. Both retreat and orchards are brilliant for families. Orchards are set with these beautiful lawns in front of them, amazing views. They've also got a private pool there as well, and they would have their breakfast down at the Bath restaurant. The Bath Garden Suites are all 1-bedroom. We've got smaller ones and we've also got some larger ones as well. The larger ones, we can pop an extra bed in for one child, but they really work excellently for couples, and they are within walking distance of the kind of main area and the restaurants and the kind of retail as well. So really close to all the activities, and so nice if you've got guests who kind of want to be within walking distance. And the same goes for Clarence Cottage. That would be our only family option on the main side of the farm. It's a short walk from the Bath Garden Suites, and it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom cottage. The one to be noted on Clarence is that it is on request only, so you won't see it on the kind of live inventory or anything, and it is one that you have to request with our reservations team. We've then got Cowshed Cottage, and this is a standalone cottage located up, as you probably as you saw, it was cut off on the map, so it's quite far up near the base of the mountains, and it's a beautiful 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom cottage with incredible views over the valley. Cottage 1685 is the kind of original cottage on the property. It's a South African National Heritage Site, and they've kind of really kept that kind of old charm to it whilst still renovating it over the years. It's got that beautiful original thatch there. And it's set across the main cottage and then a little annex as well, and it has a private pool up here too, so it can sleep up to 10, and it's a really great option for a multi-gen family. And then we have the Mountain Villa. So the Mountain Villa is a 6-bedroom, 4-bathroom villa located up at the base of the mountains. And it's got a private pool. It's also got a private lake as well for kayaking. And it's just a really amazing spot for, for entertaining, for big celebrations. They do actually host weddings up here as well. And really great for a kind of family or multi-gen group there. And so looking at the, just looking back at Boschendal, so we've got the different accommodation options, so really something to suit everyone. It's a very well positioned and kind of equidistant between the kind of hotspots of the Winelands, Franschhoek, Stellenbosch and Paarl, but also only an hour from Cape Town as well. So you're 45 minutes from the airport, and then you're about an hour from Cape Town city centre. And so really nice option if guests aren't wanting to stay in the city but do want to do a day trip. It's very doable from here and using Boschendal as a base. That's a quick look at the rates there as well. They obviously quote all in rand, but we do also have them in dollars there. And then we've got a little look at some of the activities available on the farm. But moving on to the next part of the itinerary, so the bush part of the itinerary at Thorny Bush. So we represent Thorny Bush Lodges. They have 3 properties in incredible wildlife areas. So we've got the Thorny Bush Game Reserve and then Sabi Sands Nature Reserve. And we've got Thorny Bush Game Lodge and Saseka Tented Camp in the Thorny Bush Reserve, which is an amazing reserve for game. They dropped the eastern boundary fence a number of years ago, and they are very much a Big Five reserve, you can very much expect to see the Big Five plus wild dog here as well. When I was here back in May, we saw an incredible amount of game in just 2 nights. So you really can get an amazing experience here. They also now do walking. We have a walking guide in the property. So you can kind of add that other side to a safari as well for guests. We then have Simbambili down in the Sabi Sands Nature Reserve, which I don't think I need to do too much explaining on how incredible the Sabi Sand is. It's leopard heaven, and of course as well a Big Five reserve. So Thornybush Game Lodge was renovated around this time last year. So we've got the beautiful big main area, that kind of classic South African lodge with that high thatch. We've got a lovely big shared pool overlooking the dry riverbed. And then all the rooms have been recently refurbished. So same kind of structure, but the interiors have been completely changed. Really beautiful, really cool, quirky interiors. You've got a lovely big decked area and then a big bathroom with outdoor shower as well. We also now have Kamara House, which opened in April of this year, and it's a 3-bedroom exclusive use house. This is within the same property, so the guests staying here can make use of the same main area if they like. They can go down to the Boma for dinner when that's set up, but they can also have a completely private experience as well. And this works really, really nicely for families. We've got a private plunge pool there. The property is privately hosted, and it also comes with a private vehicle and guide. You've got the same interiors, so in terms of the look and feel, very much the same as the rest of the lodge, but a private house. We've then got Saseka Tented Camp. So Saseka is actually very close to Thorny Bush Game Lodge. You wouldn't know that they were that close unless you kind of went from a bird's eye view, but Saseka is the kind of very beautiful tented experience here. So you're traversing a very similar area of Thorny Bush Game Reserve. So you still have incredible game here, and you've just got a slightly different vibe in terms of the interiors, but this is very, very much a design-led property. You've got this beautiful big main area overlooking a dry riverbed. You come in these sort of double doors at the back here, and it's very wow. You've got a very cool mix of the kind of old and the new in the interiors, and you've got these beautiful kind of tented ceilings in the rooms, but still with that kind of glass frontage. So it feels very safe and secure, particularly for kind of first timers on safari, but you do have that very romantic kind of tented feel to it. All the rooms have private plunge pools, you've got outdoor showers, and they're all overlooking that gorgeous dry riverbed. We've then got Simbambili Game Lodge. So Simbambili is located in the Sabi Sand, in the northern part of the Sabi Sand. And as you can see, the lodge overlooks a beautiful waterhole. You've got 9 rooms here, all with private plunge pools. And these are actually being renovated next year. So we are closing in the middle of the year next year for renovation. And so there will be a little bit of a different look and feel here. In terms of the structure of the lodge, it will remain much the same, but just a bit of an upgrade in terms of the interiors. So stay tuned. We will be sending out information on that once we have a bit more. So just a quick look back. So we've got Saseka. We've also got the option of Little Saseka at Saseka Tented Camp, which is a kind of little camp within a camp, kind of exclusive area. It's probably the only area of Saseka that you can have children. Saseka is a kind of adults only 16 plus property. Thorny Bush Game Lodge is really the family property. Because you've got Kamara House there, and you've got those wonderful big suites as well. And then Simbambili in the Sabi Sand with the 9 suites. A quick look at the rates there as well. And then, as I said, you've got game drives. We do walking safaris in Thorny Bush. And then we've also got a fantastic wellness centre kind of in between Thorny Bush and Saseka. And we also can do community visits. We can have the anti-poaching dog unit come to the lodge as well. So all these things can kind of be arranged for guests also. So looking at a different bush option now, and we're heading up to the Madikwe Game Reserve. This is a fantastic option for malaria-free, so guests wanting a malaria-free safari. Molori and Madikwe Game Reserve is brilliant for that. It's a Big Five reserve. It's a fantastic spot, really easy access from Johannesburg, and a great kind of option, particularly I think for families looking at that malaria-free side of things. So Molori Safari have got 5 suites here. It's a beautiful property. You're in the heart of the kind of eastern side of the reserve. You've got this beautiful big main area with a lovely big pool, and you're set into the hillside, so you're overlooking the reserve. It's incredible views. They've got an incredibly luxurious hide here. It's so beautiful. You're overlooking a waterhole right there. They've also got a kind of upstairs area where guests can dine. So we had our dinner up there. There's a screen. We had a little private dinner and we had the screen that we could see if something came down to the waterhole. And then we went down into the hide and we could sit there and watch elephants come down to drink or warthog come down to drink. And it was so incredible. It's a really intimate experience, but it's so comfortable there. You can very much happily spend the whole day down there quite easily. We have then looking at the rooms. So we've got 5 suites. So it's a very small property, which is wonderful because it makes it really easy for it to be a very bespoke experience. They can make absolutely everything kind of tailored to the guest. We start with the 2-bedroom presidential suites. So there's 2 of these. You have 1 bedroom that is this room, which is this beautiful big bedroom with ensuite and outdoor shower, and you've got a lovely big walk-in wardrobe in there as well. There's a 2nd bedroom which is slightly smaller, so this works really nicely for a family because the rooms aren't the same, so the smaller room works really well for the children. Beautiful big pool out the front on the deck. You've got this lovely big living area as well, so it's a really nice space to kind of spread out into. I feel like when we stayed here, we stayed in one of these presidential suites, and just chilling out on that couch. It was raining outside, but when it wasn't, we sat out, and you had a pool there. We had a little hot tub as well. So it was a really, really beautiful spot. We've then got 1 2-bedroom family suite. So this is over 2 floors. So you've got a double bedroom downstairs and you've got a double or twin upstairs. You've got a bathroom and outdoor shower, and then also a little living area as well. And then we have 2 1-bedroom suites. So these are perfect kind of for couples. They've got this gorgeous fireplace in the middle here. So when you're sat on the one side in the living area, you're getting the fire, and then when you hop into bed, you're still getting that warmth as well. It can be very cold here. It was so hot when we came down in October to Zimbabwe, and then we came down to South Africa, and I was not prepared. And so it was very lovely having things like the fire lit and sort of cozying up and getting warm. So just a quick look back, we've got the accommodation options here. We've got the 5 different suites, again located in the Madikwe Game Reserve, so fantastic malaria-free reserve and very much a Big 5 reserve. We saw, I think we saw the Big 5 in like half a game drive or something. It was actually crazy. You feel like there's sort of game absolutely everywhere. We also a quick look at the rates, and then also just a look at some of the activities here. There's also a spa and a gym, and with that hide as well, it very much feels like you could have a longer stay at Molori, and make use of kind of sitting in the hide for a whole day, or at least for a full morning or full afternoon. You've got the spa and the gym to kind of chill out, so it feels like more than just pure safari. You can actually really relax here. The food was absolutely incredible, really amazing fine dining style food. So for anyone who's a foodie that's worried about the food on safari, I mean, first of all, don't be because I think the food in every safari property I'm talking about today is incredible, but it was a really kind of fine dining style here at Molori and was absolutely incredible. So moving on to a slightly different safari experience. So looking at Molori Mashuma. So this is Molori's new property, just recently opened in Mana Pools. They sort of soft launched this season. They are now closed for the rainy season and will reopen in April, fully open to the public. So we came and stayed down here in October, and it's a really nice Southern African safari option, and especially in a circuit like this. You have got 6 tented suites here. You're overlooking a pan, and the Mana Pools National Park is absolutely incredible. I mean, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site for a reason. It is so beautiful. And what's really lovely at Molori Mashuma is that you're situated on this pan in a private concession. So you've got this permanent water right in front of the camp. We were here in the sort of driest month, and there was just constantly activity down here on the pan. Elephants coming down to drink. There was warthog down here. We knew there was predators down here at one point, but we couldn't see them. So absolutely incredible sightings to be had right from the property. But obviously you're also in this incredible national park where a huge part of that is that beautiful big Zambezi River flowing past at the kind of what I call the sort of top end of the park. So what was really nice is we spent a full day, we drove out, we traversed along the river. We got out of the vehicle for a bit and had a bit of a walk, but we really made the most of being by the river and having that absolutely incredible, big views. But then also made the most of kind of being back here in the pan, overlooking this incredible water source, particularly at such an incredible time of year. So the interiors here are absolutely stunning. The camp is really comfortable. And so the idea of sitting here and watching the pan go by for a morning or an afternoon and having that real armchair safari experience is so kind of doable. You've got this beautiful big pool area, which was used quite a lot while we were here. It's about 45 degrees each day. So we definitely made the most of this. And so we've got 4 one-bedroom tented suites here. So these are the kind of perfect rooms for couples. As you can see, you've got the bed kind of here, and then you've got the bathroom off to the side. So everything is kind of angling towards that pan. All of the rooms are kind of overlooking the pan. And so you have incredible views from everywhere. They actually in each room sat in a specific spot to angle the bath in the right direction. So in each room, the bath is in a slightly different location so that it's looking out onto the pan. So a lot of detail went into it. Incredible, again, beautiful interiors, and really, really cool kind of design. We've then got 2 two-bedroom tented suites. So these are excellent for families, but also would be perfect for 2 couples traveling together. The 2 rooms are completely identical, very similar, obviously, in style to the 1-bedroom. You've just got the bathroom behind in these ones to kind of, make the most of space. But you've, again, got incredible views of the pan from here. And because both the rooms are literally carbon copies of each other, putting 2 couples in here would really work so well. You've got a lovely big indoor living area, big outdoor living area, private plunge pool as well. So there's lots and lots of space here. These are a few pictures from mine and Anita's trip. This was when we headed down to the river, down on the right-hand side here, and you can just see those views are absolutely incredible. So definitely, guests staying kind of 3 nights, 4 nights, doing a whole day out is such a lovely way to kind of do something a little bit different. I felt like we really, we didn't necessarily do activities where we kind of went for a drive or went for a walk. It was kind of like, go for a drive, you might hop out the vehicle and have a look around at a few things, maybe walk for a bit and then come back. It felt like a really fluid safari experience, and kind of just, we saw where the day took us. And I really, really loved that. And I think it's an excellent, excellent location for, particularly for guests who've already been on safari and want something different. And I mean, look at that view, absolutely stunning. So a quick look back at Molori Mashuma. So it's a new property. It will be open, ready to be booked from the 1st of April next year. You've got 6 suites here, great kind of family option or couples option, but also really, 2 couples, group option, but also couples as well. Quick look at the rates there. And then also at the different activities as well. So the property is located in a private concession, and then they also have another private concession as well, sort of not too far away. Now looking at Santorini, Mozambique. So we're heading to the beach. We've looked at the bush, we've gone from the winelands, we've gone on safari, and now we're heading off to the beach. And I think heading up to Mozambique is such a beautiful opportunity. Especially if you're already in Southern Africa, I mean, you look at the map here and you think, why would you go anywhere else? It's right there. Mozambique is absolutely beautiful. You've got this incredible coastline, and Vilanculos is only an 1.5-hour flight from Johannesburg. Sadly, the flights from Nelspruit in Kruger are going to be leaving or not happening anymore as of the 8th of January. However, the flights from Johannesburg aren't going to be upped. So at the moment, there's not quite daily, but it's 5 times a week, I think, flights from Johannesburg in the morning. We will also be getting an afternoon flight 4 days a week. So that will be a really nice addition, particularly, I think, when kind of trying to add on Mozambique, getting out of a safari property or something to Johannesburg and then out will be slightly more realistic with that afternoon flight as well, without having to overnight in Joburg. But heading up to Vilanculos, Santorini is so the most chilled out vibe for a bit of R&R after a safari. The property's split into 3 villas. You've got the main villa and then 2 private villas. It's on the mainland. It's only a 20-minute drive from Vilanculos Airport, heading north and overlooking the Bazaruto archipelago. So we really try and make the most of the archipelago. Guests can get out on a full day's island excursion to kind of go snorkeling. They can go diving on the near the islands as well. And we also have an airport lounge at the airport, so you can make that experience really, really seamless for guests. It's so beautiful here. If you've ever been to this area of Mozambique, it's just so stunning. Flying up from South Africa is just incredible. And then you land here and you've got this beautiful property set into the hillside overlooking that beautiful blue water. So you've got the main villa in the center here. This is 5 bedrooms and operates like a little boutique hotel. So 5 different suites. We've then got a standalone suite, Villa Nacolina, which is newer to the portfolio. And this kind of works in line with the main villa. Guests staying there will sort of dine at the main villa. They can make use of the main villa facilities. We've then got the chapel, which is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom villa. And then we've got Villa de Praia, which is 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. And it's actually going to be getting another suite up the top here. They will be getting a 4th suite there. So it will be a 4-bedroom villa soon, which is really exciting. You're overlooking the ocean, you're overlooking the archipelago. We get incredible sunrises here. At the main villa, you've got a sort of wind-protected courtyard with a pool, and then you've also got this pool out the front as well. And as you can see, all the interior is this beautiful kind of whitewashed style. We've got Villa de Praia, which is the 3-bedroom villa, perfect for families. And then the chapel, which is a 2-bedroom villa, great for smaller families, 2 couples traveling together, that kind of thing. And then also Villa Nacolina, which is kind of the ultimate honeymoon suite. It's standalone, but they can also make use of the main resort facilities. They do have a private pool here in a little courtyard at the back. In terms of included activities, you've got things like paddleboarding and kayaking. We also include the full day's island excursion for every 3-night stay. So guests staying 3 nights or more will get the opportunity to head out to the islands, go snorkeling. They get a picnic lunch on the beach, and that isn't included in the cost. Extra things like heading out on the boats at other points, dhow excursions. We can also do horse riding. There's kite surfing as well. And being so close to Vilanculos means we can make the most of the activities that they can provide there. So things like the horse riding on the beach and the kite surfing and the diving centres there. So this is a quick look back at the accommodation options. The location, so we're 20 minutes north of the airport on Kingfisher Bay. So really, really convenient. You now also don't need a visa for Mozambique. So you just come right on in. You pay, I think it's $15 US in the airport, but there's no kind of putting a visa in your passport and all the rest of it. So it's much quicker to get through the airport. And then within 20 minutes, you're here overlooking that beautiful view. But thank you so much for joining me on this journey for my last webinar of the year. It's been really wonderful to go through all our clients throughout the year and then finish off with these 2 kind of itineraries webinars to talk a bit about how our clients work well together, and also for people who may be joining who don't know Africa quite so well. You know, it's all very really good speaking about one property, but how to combine them is also really, really important. So I will also encourage you to go onto the Africa Hub as well. You can learn so much there about combining different properties, and they will be doing an itineraries kind of week, I think it is, that they're doing at some point, to kind of talk a bit more about these, about itineraries and things like that. But if you've got any questions, please always do get in touch. I always say it, but you're more than welcome to pop us an email. In the next couple of days, we will send out this recording. And then, of course, as you review it, we'd love to hear from you. And as you move into what I'm sure will be peak kind of selling season in January and February, do feel free to get in touch if you've ever got questions and you need quick answers. Always happy to be on the other end of the phone, or WhatsApp or email. So do always get in touch. And thank you so much, and have a fantastic Christmas and a happy New Year.